Hello everyone, I'm Heather. I have not done a lunch break book chat in absolutely ages, so I thought, I'm on my lunch break now, let's have a chill chat time. Like, I'm not actually eating my lunch, I've already eaten it. My whole plan was to make my bagel, put a hummus on it, it was delightful by the way, then eat it leisurely while chatting to you about the books that I've read this month so far. But I think I was a bit too hungry or a bit too focused on my food and I just inhaled it. And then sort of afterward I was like, fuck, somebody ate my whole bagel. It was me, obviously I ate my whole bagel really fast. So all I have is a bit of light coffee for my lunch break, and we can chat about how I haven't really read anything for October, even though it's the middle of October. I've only read 3 books. I'm in the middle of 2 of them at the minute. I think Shorty September just sort of fucks my life. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of I get so intent on reading and vlogging and sort of being in this bookish moment and just sort of taking every advantage of every bit of time that there is, that sort of when October hits, even though I'm in the mood for October reads, I'm like spooky shit is for me, witches, ghosts, I love to get into it for October. Even though the reading mood is there, the actual reading and wanting to put my eyeballs on a book and read it is missing. It has been exhausted in the previous month. So it's the middle of October. I've only finished 3 books, so I'm going to chat with you about those, and then also the ones I'm in the middle of at the minute. Annoyingly, okay, the one book that I thought was going to be absolutely banging, I wanted to read it for ages. I haven't been buying books, but then I splurged on this book, I need to get it, I need it in my life, it's going to save me, was this one, and it was shite. So, The Ex Hex by Erin Sterling. So this is a pen name, Erin Sterling, for another name, which I'm not sure, I'll bring it up now. She's written 11, 12 books or something under that other name. And she's really well known and really well loved by loads of people. So then when they found out that this is a pen name for that, they were like, oh my god, get it straight away. And I think maybe they enjoyed it. I don't know. I think my main problem with this book is that one of the main characters is Welsh. And Welsh speaking, so comes from Wales, speaks the Welsh language, but it was very obviously written by an American who's never even been to Wales. If they've been to Wales, they went for a week, okay? They know nothing about Wales, this Erin Sterling person, pen name, whatever, and it was annoying because she didn't even fucking bother to try to fix the problems that were with it. Okay, I read this one book once, it was based on a Russian fairy tale, and I loved the crap out of that. I was like, how fucking Russian is this? It's delightful. Then I saw a review by a Russian woman who was like, this is annoyingly inaccurate. And it sort of blew it for me, okay? I was like, that's annoying. Because all you need is for one Russian person to just read your book and go, this is stupid, this is stupid, this is stupid, this is stupid. How do you fix it? Okay? There are several Welsh people who can read. I don't know, possibly the whole of the country of Wales can actually read books, So she could have easily found a Welsh person to read this book and go, first of all, Welsh people don't call their fathers da. Okay, is that Scottish? Is that a Scottish thing? An Irish thing? Welcome to a world where Wales is different from Ireland, okay? Also, I don't want to get into a huge, Welsh language 101 or Welsh alphabet 101 with you, but the Welsh language alphabet is different from the English language alphabet, okay? Anyone who speaks Spanish or learned Spanish in school or, whatever knows that. Some of the letters are different. Okay, so the names in here, she uses a lot of traditionally old school Welsh names. Do you know what I mean? Griffith, Llywelyn, Rhys, okay? And that's fine. Way to get into that traditional sort of culture. But if you're going to do it, don't do it wrong. Okay, Griffith ends with 2 Ds because that 2 Ds as a letter in the Welsh language makes a th sound. Okay, the traditional Welsh name Griffith is not Griffith, okay? So if you type it or write it or whatever as Griffith with just 1 D at the end, it might as well be Elmerford for how stupid it sounds, okay? Don't be like, I'm creating this atmosphere of ancient Welsh magic, calling this ancient person who trapped the magic Griffith, and then name it Griffith, okay? It's not magical, okay? It's lost its magic. It's losing it every time I have to read Griffith. Anyway, the book itself could have been amazing. Basically, the idea is this guy, he's from Wales, okay? He goes to study at this magical college in Georgia. in America, sort of somewhere, meets this American woman, falls in love, okay? They split up and she's heartbroken. So she and her cousin pretend to curse him, okay? So then 9 years later, 10 years later, whatever, they meet again. He's got to go back to this town, which was founded actually by his grandfather, great-grandfather, whatever, Griffith, okay? He's got to recharge the ley lines or whatever, but as soon as he comes back to the town, the curse kicks in. This curse that they did, that they thought was nothing curse, actually was a real curse, and it just took the 9 years for him to come back in order for it to sort of launch. And when he charges the ley lines then as a person who's cursed, he then curses the ley lines, and all of the magic in the town goes crazy, and now he and this person whose heart he broke ages ago, they have to save the town. So the idea of this is brilliant, isn't it? It could have been a brilliant experience, Erin Sterling, but you fucked it up by not giving a fuck about your novel at all. And basically, for using the magic of ancient cultures that are older and smaller and weaker than your own culture, and not giving a fuck enough about it to just get it right on a basic level. Like, I feel like books where, I don't know, they talk about like other cultures, say older, sort of smaller cultures, say Native American cultures or sort of tribal cultures, First Nations, things like that. If someone was to write a book where those characters feature prominently and then to completely fuck it up, people would be really angry. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a different situation. Like, yeah, okay, it's a European culture of, you know, historically, you know, white people or whatever, but it's still like an endangered culture. It's still a really small, really ancient, you know, like culture where the language is endangered and stuff like that. Like, and you like, she just like treated it like shit by not actually asking a Welsh person first of all if this was going to be like accurate or not. Anyway, I'm done ranting about it. It's fine. Okay, the second book I finished was actually an audiobook, and it was brilliant. It sort of pulled me out of my sort of anger phase over the one I'd read before, called Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, I think. And this one was brilliant. This was really good. Like, it had a lot of the same sort of elements of sort of magical community books. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I read a lot of them, so they all really have like the same sort of elements in them. But it was slightly different. It was like different enough that it was felt like sort of brand new. I really liked it. So the idea is that people, there's magical people and non-magical people. And the magical people are dwindling. There's fewer of them. Fewer witches are born every day. And you have girl witches and boy witches, but Gaia favors her daughters. So the girl witches are naturally more powerful. And so the sort of witch community, the magical community, is run by women. Okay, so you sort of come of age in the society, and you know all the other people in the sort of community before you come of age. You come of age close to all these other witches or whatever, and then you get your powers, and then you're sort of inducted into Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which is sort of, I guess, a group of the most powerful witches who sort of work with the government in London. Do you know what I mean? To sort of, I don't know, serve as like a sort of governing body for everyone. And at the time, so you've got this group of really close friends who call each other sisters because they're all magical and they've sort of grown up together. They're reeling from this war that's just happened, where like it's like a civil war in the magical community, where half of them are like, it's right that we hide our magic from people who aren't magical. You know, it frightens them. It's always been like that ever since the witch trials, blah, blah, blah. We'll just continue to run things from the sidelines and be secret. And then you've got this other sort of like evil counterpart who say, we're more powerful, we should be in charge, you know, we should like make non-magical power people bow down to us and our power. So the good side wins after that, but they're all still reeling, they're all still damaged, they've all had loved ones die in this war. So now this new problem is occurring where the oracles, these like girls and women who sort of sit in this freezing cold room just in like shift dresses and sort of like channel prophecies and stuff. They've prophesied that the Leviathan will rise, this like monster demon, this like demon of all demons will rise and sort of murder all magical people. And the high priestess of this like coven, she has decided that she now needs to do something about this, and what she's going to do about it is go after this child who's just burned down his orphanage or his school or whatever. There's sort of something about the prophecy about a child, an evil child, raising Leviathan, blah, blah, blah. And she sees this kid. He's a boy, but he's powerful as fuck. And how fucking dare him? Girls are the powerful ones. Boys are just witches, like the lesser powerful ones. So he's got more power than he has a right to. And also, he's burned down his school. So she's like, he's clearly the one that's in the prophecy and we need to cage him or kill him or whatever. Whereas her friend, her really good friend from childhood, goes and meets him and talks to him and realizes he's just scared. Like, he's confused about stuff. He doesn't know what's going on. And he very likely torched his orphanage on accident. And then we find out later he's actually a trans girl. And then we get this whole fucking element of like the high priestess is a TERF and she's like angry at the very idea that you can change genders. And then you've got this other side who are like, it makes complete sense that she's so powerful because she's clearly a trans girl, not a boy. And it just launches into this huge like TERFy like trans war that we'd normally have just in our normal communities outside of this book or whatever, but with like a magic spin on it, which I thought was fucking brilliant, and I loved the crap out of it. Also the ending, cliffhanger ending, like all the characters are really like fucking brilliant. Like you can ask to be possessed by demons in order to have more power. Like the high priestess like ends up, you know, endangering the community she's trying to protect just out of fear and like clinging to like traditional like bullshit ideas. Like it is brilliant. I absolutely loved it, and I definitely will read the sequel. Like I don't think it's out now, but I'll look. But I'm gonna read it. It was so good, and also the audiobook was really good. So some of the characters are Irish, so it's narrated by an Irish woman, and the voice, oh, just perfect. Oh, I just loved it. Okay, so the last one I finished was actually a bit of a disappointment, and I think I'm still reeling emotionally from like the shock of it not being good, because I love the author and I thought this book was going to be absolutely amazing, and I've like, it's been sitting on my shelf for a while and me looking at it going, the day I finally read that, it's just going to be the best day, you know. And then it was like a sort of 3 stars, which I'm a bit sad about. Anyway, Grady Hendrix, the final girl support group. I love Grady Hendrix. I loved My Best Friend's Exorcism, Horror Star. I even liked the like metal one, the sort of one where they're in a metal band that nobody really seemed to like. I loved the crap out of that one. But this one, like, who's with me on this? Like, I feel like this one was not good. Like, I looked at the reviews and everything in a couple different places afterward, and they seemed to be like, yeah, okay, we really liked this one, we like this guy, we like all his stuff, and we liked this. Like, nobody seemed to be like annoyed by how it's not as good. I don't know. Anyway, so the basic idea is you've got all these final girls. These girls who, like, they're in a situation where a serial killer or like a massacre sort of guy goes around, kills everyone around them, but then they survive and kill the person who's doing all the killing. Like, they rise up and kill them. So now they're the final girl. So this one person, our sort of main girl, Lynette, she's in this support group for all of these girls who are like the final girl who survived and fought back or whatever. But she actually, even though she was the last survivor of her massacre, she didn't actually kill the person who was doing the killing. So there's like, you know, some wobbling back and forth about whether she actually is a final girl. I know she's super like obsessed with safety and being attacked again. So, you know, she's moderated her apartment, or she's changed her apartment to where there's like a cage at the door to where you have to like enter one part and then enter another part and then enter another part, and she's got like shotguns all over the place, and she never goes to the same place twice or whatever, and she never walks the same route, and like she's just very like obsessed with her security now. And it turns out she is actually come after again, like she thought she would be. Everyone was like, you're stupid, why are you so intense, like nobody's gonna come after you again. Someone does come after her again, and she's got to sort of, I guess, go on the run, try to sort of figure out who it is, collect up all the other final girls as they sort of, it looks like they are also targets in this same sort of plot where this person is now coming after all the final girls, you know. Anyway, I liked the idea, I liked the characters, I think. Like, I don't know if I liked the characters. I don't think I liked the characters. And, you know, the ending was okay. Like, it was just a bit okay. 3 stars. I'm depressed about it. There are a bunch of other like final girls stories on there. Like I think I have a couple in my house. Like Stephen Graham Jones is one of them who does like a final girls book. Also I think person who does Home Before Dark, that one. I think that person does one as well. Like I might start reading them. I might just be like, you know, read all the final girls books and then be like which one is better. So I'm in the middle of 2 different books. One of them, I'm sort of smack in the middle of it, about there. It's Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I like Naomi Novik's books. I've read a couple of them and I enjoy most of them. So this is like a series called The Scholomance, where like it's a sort of ancient magic school where magic people go to network and to learn and to not die, basically. So it's not like a school as in, you know, a lovely sort of non-magic human school where all the kids go and they're safe and they're looked after and they're taught like well-being sort of stuff. It's basically like a sort of void in time or space or whatever, where there's like all magic must be borrowed from somewhere else, you know? So if you sort of do a spell, you have to take that magic like off something else or someone else or something. So every day is like a battle for what magic is there. You can't create magic. You have to sort of pull it from other people like that. And the school is partly a place where you learn how to use your magic, but also partly a place where, I don't know, sort of dog eat dog magic borrowing and stealing sort of thins out the weak. You know what I mean? It sort of makes for like stronger magical adults because the ones who couldn't hack it die at school. And there are no teachers or anything. It's sort of just a space where every day is a battle and dangerous. And there's all these sort of like evil creatures and elements and things that are trying to gobble you up to get your magic, you know, to sort of absorb the magic that's in you. And also there's sort of evil magical people as well, sort of people who realize that the only way to stay alive is to steal the magic off others by killing them, you know, so they become that sort of person. So the main character, this girl's part Indian, part Welsh, which I did accidentally again. Like I did not know that the Ex Hex had such an intense Welsh sort of element to it. I also had no idea that this one had a Welsh element to it. And this one was also annoying, and I'll tell you why. I'll get to it in a minute. But our girl, she's at school now, and she's really cautious as a person who's learning. She's always sort of looking behind her, making sure nothing's there. She's always like doing these certain routines, like putting her books away immediately after taking them out, blah, 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 sort of to avoid, you know, being alone in certain areas or to avoid, you know, encountering certain elements. Like she's very cautious. And she's now sort of entangled with this guy named Orion, who's from New York. And he's part of this like really strong enclave. So all of the witches and everything in the world sort of separate themselves into these enclaves where they sort of band together for safety, you know, and you could sort of like be accepted into an enclave, but it's hard to get into it, you know, and if you're on your own without an enclave, like your chances of sort of surviving in the world as a magical person are quite low. So he's in this really powerful enclave. And he's been sort of going around saving her life at the school, and she's pissed about it. She's like, how dare you? Okay, I've got it covered. Like, I'm sorting myself out. And now they've sort of like sparked up this sort of friendship. And I'm enjoying it. Halfway through, I've also got, I'm going to show you now. So these are my library books. They've been recalled back to the library already, and I didn't return them because I really want to read them. And I feel like a dick because someone has it on hold somewhere going, where the F is my book? But I've only just now got the chance. So I'm going to read this one, then I'm going to read this one, which is the second one. And I'm enjoying them, okay? So I am going to read this one. However, I would like to tell you that I was listening to the audiobook of this one for a bit. Like, I sort of went up to maybe about, like, I don't know what chapter did I go. Anyway, I read it in the book for a bit. And then I switched to the audiobook for a bit because I do have it. And I thought, oh, this will be lovely, you know, to dip in and out. But the audiobook mispronounces Welsh words. Like, I don't want to, like, have another go about it. None of the English words are mispronounced, okay? If in the audiobook they had mispronounced a bunch of random English language words, it would be a very unpopular audiobook, and people would say to them, they'd be like, what the hell? Why have you not bothered to have your person speak English properly? It's very annoying. But then when it comes to the Welsh bit, again, nobody gave a shit about checking that. Did you think that there's so few people who will understand that language that you don't even need to try? You know, like it's lazy and it's disrespectful. Okay, so there's one here which is like Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll. So that's a town in North Wales. I feel like everyone in the UK knows this town because it's one of the longest place names on earth. Okay, so people sort of grow up like trying to give it a go, you know, like spelling out Mississippi like M-I-S-S-I-S-S, like it's a thing to sort of learn in your mind and then be able to say. It's a good party trick, so loads of people know it. But this girl gave it her best go, or not even her best go, her like shittiest don't give a shit go, which was like, I'm gonna play it for you now, like I'll pause. Wait, ready?
More valuable because the language is completely phonetic. Just about anyone who can get through the full name of Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll, that isn't, by the way, the full name.
She goes to a Welsh language speaking high school. She's a Welsh language speaker. Her major in the whole of this like magic situation is that she masters languages, okay? Old English, you know, French, all these sort of Latin, like dead languages, so that she can say the spells properly, okay? But the one language that's her actual language, the Welsh language, she doesn't even give it her best fucking go to say it properly. She can't even say high school properly because it's Ysgol Uwchradd Aberteifi. I feel like that's not hard, okay? But like her best go was like, okay, wait, I'll do it again.
My own Welsh is quite solid, thanks to good old Ysgol Uwchradd Aberteifi.
But I'm not gonna get hung up, okay? I'm like done ranting. I'm cool. The actual book, the actual writing of this book, the characters, the world building, okay, is delightful. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna move on to this one and then I'm gonna take them back to the library like the person who has this book on hold deserves. I just wanted to sort of let that out there, let that be known. And I think my plans moving forward from here is just gonna be to devote the rest of my life to Fear Street books. Okay, so hear me out. I've got this one here, Secret Admirer. I finished another one called like Runaway, where it was like about a new kid or whatever running away from like her own power. This one is about like a bunny boiler, I think. And I found an absolute load of ebook versions of these Fear Street books on Scribd for free. And I'm just gonna download one after the other to my e-reader and devote the rest of my life to trashy, awful teen horror books. Like when I run out of those ones, I'm gonna move on to Christopher Pike, okay? Because I feel like I didn't really know about these books when I was an actual teenager. I've come to it really late in life, but I'm watching The Midnight Club on Netflix at the minute, and it's awful. It's so awful. I love it. And I expect nothing from these books. I don't expect them to be good. I don't expect them not to be annoying. I expect nothing from them, and they expect nothing from me. And it's a deep emotional bond we're having, me and these trashy teen horror books. Also though, apart from devoting my life to these, I think I'm gonna do nonfiction November. Is anyone doing nonfiction November? Like I think I did Indigathon last year instead, but I haven't heard anything from my guys for Indigathon. Like I went to their channels, the sort of people that run it, and like I can't find anything about it, so I'm not sure if it's going. So I might do nonfiction November instead, because a Book Olive, she's already launched all that stuff, hasn't she? She's got good prompts going, and I do have loads of like really trashy, like pop star memoirs that I want to get to, you know, like Jessica Simpson's one, Mariah Carey's one. I want to read that one by what's it? The one who's like, I'm glad my mom died or whatever. Like, I think I might just devote my life to that in November and then go back to devoting the rest of my life to Fear Street. I think that's the plan. Okay. I think I definitely have to get back to work now. My emails have been buzzing the last couple minutes and my lunch break is definitely over, so I've got to like get to that. But thank you for watching. Thanks for chatting with me in this lunch break. If you have any thoughts, anything at all about the books I've mentioned, about other books I may like, you know, please let me know and I will see you soon. Oh crap, if you've tagged me in stuff to do with tags, you know, like you've done a tag and you've put me in it. I've had loads of those recently. Like I love a tag. I love a tag. So I will do those. I'm gonna do all of them. I just haven't had a chance. Just know that I'm getting to it. Okay. Thank you. I'll see you next week. Bye.